all this time, returning to the peace of my mind. Fear falls away, crack the shell of a new day.
Good morning. Once again, this is OLODUMARE Temple. We thank you for joining us. This is our Ile Juba Ifa Temple service. We're members of the Shekundarin family under the tutelage and guidance of Chief Sholagbade Popola. Thank you so much for joining us. We want to begin with morning prayers. So, those of you who have an Ifa shrine, if you don't have an Ifa shrine, you can just bow your head, put your head to the floor, and pray. Mojuba Lodo, Mojuba Leda, Mojuba Lodomare, Mojuba Bobo Rumale, Mojuba Bobo Imale, Mojuba Boy Gun Tembili Solodomare, Mojuba Shungwade, Mojuba Gwade, Mojuba Fragadama, Mojuba Storm, Mojuba Flori, Mojuba Palau Corriente, Mojuba Felipe Zalawetu, Mojuba Gunjobi, Mojuba Miye, Mojuba Shamala, Mojuba Shalanko, Mojuba Sonade, Mojuba Shubi, Mojuba Segamana, that's the first I won't Baba. Ejogbe. He hears people please and accept the please. He hears people please and approve please. He talks to people and ensure that the talk is completely absorbed. He hears people please and accept the please. Name of Risa. He hears people please and approve please. Name of Shodar. He talks to people and ensures that the talk is completely absorbed. Is the name of Orishana. Orishana, you the person most human beings. The person most one cannot fail to impress one. Stripe fog is on summer's rainfall. Bull fog is on summer's downpour. It is whatever the Akiriju poem tells Earth, whatever Earth accepts, whatever the big rat tells Earth is whatever Earth accepts. All what I tell you, Ifa, please accept them and approve them. Ashe, Ifa, please accept our praise. OLODUMARE, please accept our praise. Ifa, we thank you for life, health, strength, food, clothing, and shelter. Ashe, Oturete, show gratitude upon gratitude is the all about gratitude. To display benevolence upon benevolence is the all about benevolence. Whoever shall show gratitude for yesterday's benevolence, such a person will now receive today's gratuity. These were the declarations we filed to the 401 Rumale going to Mayopwe, Wuji. I'm grateful I received my gratuity. I'm grateful for yesterday's favor. I receive today's gratuity. Oturete, we're very grateful. Ashe. Awa dupe, awa bure, awa dupe, awa bure. Adúpẹ́ àná òwúrẹ tó nẹ́bù Olódùmarè àwa dúpẹ́ àwa bòrè àwa dúpẹ́ àwa bòrè adúpẹ́ àná òwúrẹ tó nẹ́bù orí ẹni àwa dúpẹ́ àwa bòrè. Àwa dúpẹ́ àwa bòrè. Adúpẹ́ àná òwúrẹ tó nẹ́bù Èrùmọ̀lẹ̀ àwa dúpẹ́ àwa bòrè. Àwa dúpẹ́ àwa bòrè. Adúpẹ́ àná òwúrẹ tó nẹ́bù lẹ́gùn lóríṣà. OLODUMARE and the divinities. We ask for your forgiveness. We ask that you would forgive us for anything that we might have done incorrectly, anything that we did wrong, anytime we might have broken any taboo, anything that was done incorrectly. We ask that you would sit with us and forgive us. Rosun tutu. Pounded yam without soup can be very difficult to consume. These are the decorations we filed to Tutu, the child of our Gleneregum. He was full of bad character. He got at you to prevent him from Tutu Bazome. Now come to solicit on behalf of Tutu. We've come to beg on behalf of Tutu. Father, please be patient, overlook this provocation. Those who beg on behalf of Tutu. Orumla, respond to my sin. Those who beg on behalf of Tutu. Those who solicit on behalf of Tutu. How many children does Ifa have that he will cast out? Those who beg on behalf of Tutu. Ifa, we ask that you would support us, guide us, direct us, protect us, keep us safe. We ask that you would continue to ward off all death, ward off sickness, ward off cases, controversy, ward off fights, ward off litigation, losses, and all fights. Ifa, we call on the Odu Rogbella. Arumla said it's time to sleep. I asked for this time to sleep. When the day dawned, I met Arumla in the 16th room, where he covered his head with a flowing gown full of lice. He was wearing dress full of bloodstains. He was snoring heavily. They told him that delegate from his disciple arrived. Arumla inquired of what the delegate had brought. They told him they brought 2 rats with them running, 2 fish graced from swimming, 2 birds with their flight, and 2 goats with their livers. Arumla said that is not enough to wake them up. I admit my ignorance. He was educated. Montunaka Rabba. I hide myself in your bosom and survive. Montunaka Rabba. The dog hang masqueraded beats Agbajon repeatedly. Dog hang masqueraded beats Agbajon repeatedly to perform rituals to the children. You are the leaders, we are the followers. Leaders are the ones who show the followers wisdom. Arumla told them to get alligator pepper, to get cola, to get bitter cola. Alcohol. The couple got the alligator pepper, got the cola in it, with the bitter cola, and he got the alcohol. That is right, it's now that he is fully awake. Orumla, when you are fully awake, please look at me with eyes of compassion. It is with eyes of compassion that the heavenly stars usually look at the stars below. Orumla, when you are fully awake, please look at me with eyes you choke 1, 2. Secure a good spouse with such good eyes that the heavenly stars usually look at the stars below. Orumla, when you are fully awake, please look at me with your eyes which help 1, 2. Have good children and such good eyes a child should use looking at a well-decorated plate before long, not too far join us in the midst of all of them. Ifa, we ask that you would continue to ward off all the challenges from us, ward off death, ward off sickness, ward off cases, controversy, ward off fights, litigation, losses in our fights, ward off witchcraft and negative energy from us. Bring forth to us long life, wealth, good spouse, good children, longevity, prosperity, victory over adversity, peace of mind, joy, healing, and all good things of life. Ifa, I ask that you would move my ego out of the way so we can hear words from you today, so we can hear a word from OLODUMARE. Emma kami mene amo, Emma kami mene ano, Emma kami mene adelokun, Esamole tori ipaloni mi, Evora tipani mi, Ene banami, Onwa tipale lejo, Oshe tora, Tani other feet tubu. The Starville chameleon is not big enough to use his headgear. Had it been enough to use his headgear, I would have taken it home and done my hair with it. Easy fun decorations to Aruala. I'm going on a spiritual mission to Jebulan. We call locals in champagne money, call sauce and make it rich. Call Aruala to respect in the Jebulan, or Sheruala to get a wool. Oh shit, try. I kick any baggy side. The extra chopper against the tree. Cast the fire for Rumula when he was cheap. Ibana, share from OLODUMARE. If an oil touch wealthy, surely be wealthy. I kick in it by Gisa, in the mouth of one was I Zibana, share in the mouth of an owl. If no one tells you have joy, you should surely have joy. I kick it in by Gisa, in the mouth of an owl was I Zibana, share in the mouth of an owl. If no one tells you have victory, surely victory. I kick it in by Gisa, in the mouth of one was I Zibana, share in the mouth of an owl. Talk, Essie. Maybe so, surely shall it be. Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi o, Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi. Wọ́n ti mọ bá màmá wí o, ìrúmọ́lẹ̀ ò bà. Ifá ò bá o, Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi. Ṣé pé mo dúró tí mo súré, bí mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ tí mo súré, bí mo kúnlẹ̀ tí mo súré. Tí mo jókòó, tí mo súre, ire tí mo sùn orí ti bọ́. Ori eni larure eni ori eni larure eni mojulo mi fawa mori ori eni larure eni. Sure. Bobore chasu Ifá ọba ọlọ́run àti bàjájú. Ifá ọba ọlọ́run ó ṣe àrú ìlà Ifá ti bọ́. Olodumare in the divinity, we thank you for life. We thank you for health. We thank you for strength. We thank you for food, clothing, shelter. We thank you for all the good things in life that you have provided for us. We ask that you will continue to ward off our death, continue to ward off our sickness, challenges, cases, fights, ward off all evil and danger from us at this time. Bring forth to us long life and good spouse, good children, healing. Give us the victory. Help us to truly hear the words of this message today and integrate them into our hearts and integrate them into our lives. Ashe, Aboru, Aboye, Aboshishe, Aboto. Thank you all very much for joining us. Once again, I am Fakolade. I'm the Olu of the Dinkai Ifa Temple. Thank you for joining us this morning. You could be anywhere, but you're with us, and we thank you for that. I wanted to share something today. We're doing this also on 3 platforms. We're doing it from the website. So those of you, if you want to go to the website, you can check us out there. We are doing live stream from the website. So check us out on the website, check us out on Facebook, as well as on YouTube. So wherever you are, on all of those different platforms. And if you like what we're doing, please like and share. Let other people know about what we're doing here at Idinka. So let's get into it. So today is going to be a very unique Ifa temple service. Today's service is about Olodumare. So when so many times when we think about Olodumare in many ways gets equated with so many perhaps Judeo-Christian deities and other deities within other traditions. But I want us to today analyze and understand the efficacy of who Olodumare actually is. And in that process, I want to analyze and discuss things that Olodumare represents and what Olodumare wants us to represent as well and stand for. So the title, interestingly, is On God. On God. So many people in my area say, I'm going to hit you back on God. And whenever we say this thing, this concept of on God, what are we actually saying? On God is an invocation, really. It's an invocation of truth, saying that what I am saying to you is true as witnessed by God. I put that on God. God is my witness. So today we're going to deal with what does that witness stand for? And really, really, what does it mean when we say on God? And we want to talk about the praise names and what it means to actually praise Olodumare while discussing the character of who Olodumare is. So let's begin. So first of all, how does Olodumare come into being? In the Odu Ifa Oyeku Logbe, Ifa says, Fora Nkunkan Shosowu, the hour of Aye, cast Ifa for Aye, when Aye was living a lonely life. She was advised to her forever. So when the whole world comes into being, there are these irumole, and the irumole are present. And one particular irumole is Aye, and that is why the earth or this world is called Ile Aye. Ile Aye means the home of Aye. And Aye was here, or is here, excuse me, and she, this Irumole, was very lonely. So she went to cast Ifa because she was extremely lonely living here on earth. And she went to cast Ifa. And at that time, there was no Ikin, there was no Opwele chain. Mind you, the Opwele chain had was first, but it was not yet in existence. And there were no Ikin. She went to cast Ifa with a deity known as Forankunkan Sosowu, which is a very, very primordial name for Orumila. And what happened is she put her hand on the earth and the Odu or Yekulogbe appeared. They then were administered by Ifa. Ifa basically said that there would be a divinity that would come that would be greater than all of them. And they offered this Ebo, and 303 days later, 303 days later, this rainbow emerged out of the Ebo dish that they had placed. And the name of the deity was Olodu Ikoko Ti Nkan Osumare, which basically means the owner of the calabash that bring forth the rainbow of light. That name then becomes abbreviated to Olodumare. And when we think about that, let's analyze what Olodumare means in Odua language, in Yoruba language. In Odua, the word Olodumare is broken into various words. When we think of the Odua or the Yoruba language, one word is actually a sentence. So a person's name can actually mean a bunch of things. So when we think of the name of Olodumare, Ol, O-L, is a word that means owner. So when we think of Olodumare, Olodumare is the owner or the administrator of something. So this name, Olodumare, is a very sacred title bestowed upon a particular divinity. So Ol means that Olodumare is the owner, administrator, caretaker of a particular thing. Next is Odumare, and some people say Edumare. I've even heard Olodumare's name as Eledumare, and so we've got Odumare and Edumare. Odu, Edu mean very similar things. In Odua language, Odu, Edu means giant, very expansive, secret, authority, and power, and heading. So Edu, and then we last have Mare. Mare. Mare basically means fixed, eternal, unmovable, unreachable, constant. So, in short, this title, this name for Olodumare means the owner of the very expansive power that is constant and unmovable. When we think of these things, Olodumare is a name and or a title that no other Irumole has. Only Olodumare. And even out of the 801 Irumole, Olodumare is the administrator of them. Olodumare is the one who decided once it came into existence. Olodumare then administered the 801 Irumole that were already there. Olodumare put 400 in particular positions, and then 401 would be 400 would be fixed, and they would be 200 on the right, 200 on the left, and then there were 401 that would be able to move about. Olodumare, that was Olodumare's idea. So when we think of this, the other issue is that who is Olodumare? We've got this idea of the name. Now let's analyze the character. So I want to begin with the Odu Ifa that Olodumare received when Olodumare cast Ifa and when Olodumare was initiated to Ifa. Olodumare is also known, one of the praise names of this great god is Oba Aisun. And Oba Aisun basically means the king who never sleeps. Ifa says in the Odu Idin Aisun, which is the Odu of Olodumare himself. Ifa says, Idin Aisun, recitation of Erosundi is for children. A child should not recite Idin Aisun. Idin Aisun is a very delicate Odu. These were the Ifa cast for Olodumare Agotun, he who found the universe without disintegration when weeping in lamentation for his inability to have children. He was advised to offer a bow. He never sleeps and he never rests because of the matter. And he never rests because of the matter of children and responsibilities. He was advised to offer a bow. Heaven began to weep. People mistook the rainfall, mistook it for rainfall. Childlessness is what makes the heavens weep. So in this Odu, what we're saying is that Olodumare does not have any quote unquote biological children born from Olodumare's loins, so to speak. But all of us are children of Olodumare. And when Olodumare was crying because of this understanding and also this responsibility of that this Irumole will never sleep. Olodumare is ever present, ever aware. And the weight of that is when Olodumare got to the conclusion of really locking in and living his destiny. When we think of that, what is the character of Olodumare? We understand who Olodumare is on some level, how Olodumare comes to be. We know Olodumare has a destiny. Olodumare has an Odu. But what is the character? We know he never sleeps, but what is he like? Ifa says, and Osalawo, Osalawo asked, what is Otito? The truth. I chorused, what is Otito? Otito, truth. Truth is the Hierophant protecting the heavens. Otito is the wisdom that Olodumare is using. Osalawo asked, what is Otito? I chorused, Otito is truth. Orumila declared that Otito is the character of Olodumare. Otito is the word that never changes. Ifa is Otito, the truth. Otito is the word that can never spoil. Otito is the power that is more powerful than all other powers. The everlasting Ire was the message given to the world when they were advised to be speaking the truth. Be truthful. Be honest. Be honest. Be truthful. Those who are truthful will receive the support of the divinities. This is so powerful. Ifa is right there telling us the character of Olodumare. The character of Olodumare is truth. And the truth is basically Olodumare. When we said those aspects of Edu and Mare basically meaning immovable, unchangeable, eternal. Olodumare is that because Olodumare represents the truth. Olodumare represents that which is constant, that which never ends. When we think about the aspects of truth, the truth can always be verified, it can always be inspected. And no matter how many times we inspect it, it's always going to remain. When we think of Olodumare, let's analyze another verse of Ifa. Ogunda Obara, Ifa says, public opinion is accepted. This was the message of Ifa for Afumon, the parasite, who had no hands and no feet. I was in the midst of enemies. He was warned to perform Abo. He did it. The parasite that had neither hands nor feet, who was in the midst of enemies. He was the Awokastifa for Olodumare Agotun when he was also told to offer Ebo. He complied. Olodumare, where have you heard of the death of Olodumare? When we see this verse of Ogunda Obara, Ifa is saying that Olodumare, as is truth, as is fact, as is things that can be verified, Olodumare never dies. You will never hear of the death of Olodumare because Olodumare is not just personification. Olodumare is also concept. Like we said, Olodumare is truth. And the truth never dies. When we think of these other aspects of who Olodumare is, Ifa says that Olodumare is also known as Obalanu. Obalanu basically means the merciful king. Ifa says in the Odu, Idi Ameleke, a pantry does not support day-to-day merchandising. A wooden spoon cannot be used as a lantern. These were the Ifa's declarations to Timileke Tifa Obamija. I am an overcomer. The child of Agbaniregun, he was advised to offer Ebo of accomplishment. He complied. I shall be blessed with more accomplishment than all of them put together. As long as Ifa has no quarrel with me, as long as Orisha has no complaint against me, I shall be more blessed than all others. Mine shall be better than all those of the cheaters, the liars. I shall have more blessings than all others. Ashe. So when we think about this, Ifa is saying that Olodumare shows us mercy. And this mercy that Olodumare is also exerting and giving us is coming as a result of when we do our best to do our best. And also, it comes when we are not at our best, not quite at our best. Olodumare is still giving us mercy, giving us an opportunity. When in Odu Ifa, where the discussion of the Eniyan, there were Eniyan, I think we talked about them last week, 2 weeks ago or so. The Eniyan, when Olodumare first came to them and warned them, it took thousands of years before Olodumare acted upon them to chastise them. Olodumare gave them many chances. Olodumare showed them mercy even though they were destroying the world. So the same thing goes for many of us. Olodumare is showing us mercy, giving us chances to change, giving us chances and opportunities to do and be better. We have all of those. So, what are we going to do with those chances? When we think about this, Olodumare is also the individual who, when Olodumare says something, when Olodumare puts a mark of blessing on a person's life, no human can remove it. When Olodumare recognizes an individual, it is worth more than the world recognizing you. Ifa says in Osarete, Genge Omolo, pregnancy is it that really enlarges the breast. These were Ifa's declarations to he whom the people diminish, who in turn is being blessed by Olorun Oba. He was advised to offer Ebo. He complied. If anyone refuses to greet me, let him sit down. The greeting of Olorun is worth more than that of 200 people. If anyone refuses to greet me, let him sit down. The greeting of Ori is worth more than 200 people. If anyone refuses to greet me, let him sit down. The greeting of Ifa is worth more than 200 people. Ifa is saying here that when Olodumare recognizes us, when the Irumole recognizes us, when our Ori recognizes us, there's nothing, it doesn't matter. There's nothing that anyone else can do to remove that recognition, to remove that blessing, because of the Ashe that Olodumare has. So, in giving us that mercy, Olodumare is also the individual who recognizes and gives us Ashe to be blessed. So, lastly, I want to talk about what do we do to also exemplify the characteristics of Olodumare. As Olodumare recognizes us, we too should recognize him. Ifa says in the Odu Ifa, E wori bel loco. Uh, if a fowl drinks water, it will praise God. Ifa's message for Adaba Susu, the dove, when lamenting her inability to give birth to a child. She was advised to offer a bow. She complied. If a fowl drinks water, it will praise God. Ifa's message for Anyagbe, the farmer, when going on annual farm cultivation mission. He too was advised to offer a bow. Whenever we are speaking, let us put God into consideration. Ifa's message for the owner of the barn, full of grains, who will cultivate the farm for the birds to consume. He was advised to offer a bow. He refused to comply. All those followers of Ifa, let those who are advised to offer a bow do so. So this Ifa is very interesting because it is about Adaba Susu. Adaba Susu is the dove. And she was living inside of a tree. And her nest was nestled there, and everything was working out very well for her. But she realized that she wanted to have children. She had been attempting to have children so many times. And what ended up happening is she then went to Olodumare and asked for assistance and also offered a bow in order for her to give birth to her own babies. So Olodumare granted her wish, and Adabasusu gave birth to babies. She gave birth to many children, and her children were in the nest. Their eggs had broken, and they were making noise and ready for food. And Adabasusu was going and getting food and bringing them back to the babies and coming back, going and coming back and going and coming back. And as Adabasusu was there, the farmer, Onyagbe, he was going through his land and he came across the bird's nest in the tree. And he began to think, you know what? I am going to consume dove today. I want dove. I want dove and all the baby chicks. I'm going to take them all and I'm going to cook them with egusi, and I'm going to put dumplings there. And he starts talking out loud about what he's going to do to this dove and her chicks. So he then says, I'm going to go back and I'm going to get my shovel and I'm going to knock that nest out of the tree and kill the birds, and I'm going to consume them. That would make a nice dinner. So Adabasusu then went and flew back to Olodumare and said, Olodumare, the farmer says that he is going to consume us. He's going to kill us. He's going to eat us. The babies that you gave me are going to die. I will die. How can we remedy this? And Olodumare said one thing. Did he mention me? And she said no. And Olodumare said, don't worry about it. She went back, and shortly thereafter, as the farmer was going to knock the nest out of the tree, he was bitten by a snake. And the poison in the snake made the hunter very ill. And he was sick for some months until he was able to get well. Then he got well and he said, I gotta go get the bird's nest. Let me go get these birds out of the nest today and make my stew. And no sooner than he got that thought in his mind, the people from the neighboring town had showed up at his door and they let him know, your mother is ill. She is close to death. And he went to his mother's bedside and he was thinking he would nurse her back to health. But what ended up happening is the time that it took for him to try to nurse her, she eventually passed away. So after that, he had to begin the process of planning her funeral. So he planned her funeral, got everything prepared, and that took some months, and finally, they were able to bury his mother. At this point, the farmer was thinking about, like, man, this is getting tough. Every time I make a move, something bad is happening. My mother passed. I got bitten by a poisonous snake. I need to go for Ifa consultation. So he goes for Ifa consultation. He casts the Odu, Iwori Bogbe Loko, and he then is told by the Babalao, for you to be very successful in life, what you need to do before you make a plan to do anything, before you do anything, you need to say, with the special grace of Olodumare, I will do this. Olodumare willing, I will make this happen. And he offered his abo, and then the farmer then began to do just that. I will come to see you if Olodumare is willing. Ashe. I will prepare this food with the grace of Olodumare. See you tomorrow with the grace of Olodumare. So he integrated this into his language. And then he remembered, man, it's been over a year. Those birds should be nice and plump now. So he was walking around in his farm and he then began to say, I think those birds are really big and they will really fit well in my pot and in my stomach. And he said, with the grace of Olodumare, on God, I'm about to eat these doves today. And Adabasusu heard that. And by this time, all of her children were big and grown, and they're big enough to fly out of the nest. And they took flight and went to another place. So Ifa is saying here that in order for us to have the extra grace of Olodumare, we need to also put Olodumare in everything we do. So when we think about the slang of saying on God, in a very real way, that is a beautiful thing that we have added into our culture, because we need to put Olodumare first. We need to integrate Olodumare into everything that we do. So in closing, on God, Olodumare is the Oba Aisu, the king that never sleeps. The nature of Olodumare is not to sleep. On God, Olodumare is Otito. The nature of Olodumare is truth. Olodumare is also the sanctuary and the helper and protector of all of us. And most of all, on God, Olodumare is Oba Lanu, the merciful king, the king who disperses mercy to all. So let us remember these concepts and invoke that aspect of the Almighty God anytime we want to do anything. Ashe. Thank you all. Thank you all once again for joining us. I hope that this has been something rich that everyone was able to get a good feeling from and also get good information from about the nature of who Olodumare is, because it's definitely necessary for us to really invest in the study and um, analysis of our faith. It is really, really, really important for us to do that and to get a good understanding of our faith and who we are and what our faith means and all of those wonderful things. So, we have a couple of announcements. I want to share with everyone the trip to Miami was wonderful. It was absolutely great. Chief Popola was able to do and be very successful. We did two Atefas in Miami last week. So that was absolutely a blessing. Itarogun was last week. We've offered part of the above. We offered part of the above for Itarogun in Miami, and we'll offer the rest. It should be being offered now. Also, for those of you who are interested, um, for the last part of May, from May 20th to the 28th, we're having our Odun Ifa in Ado-Ekiti, in Ado-Ekiti, Nigeria. Those of you who are interested in coming, please let us know as soon as possible this month. We're doing the pilgrimage will be, I believe it will be 9 days. So those of you who are interested in coming, it's now is the time to get on the good foot, get your tickets, get your not only get your tickets but also get your visas and passports. So everyone who's interested, please let me know, and then we can make lists and help others to travel together. So that is what's going on, and next week we will have Makings of Men. So I'll put the announcement up, and those of you who are interested in joining in will have that meeting next week. So with that, I want to pray and thank Olodumare. Olodumare, we thank you for supporting us and giving us such wonderful Ifa to study and integrate into our lives. Help us so that we will recognize not only the greatness of you, but the greatness that you've created in us. Help us to honor Oba Alanu. Help us to honor Oba Aisun. Help us to represent Otito. Help us to be like you and represent your eternal virtue so that we too can be within the flow of goodness. Ashe, Aboru, Aboye, Aboshishe, Aboto. Thank you all. If you are interested in donating or supporting us in any way, please do so. And also, if you are interested in the things that we're doing, you can certainly join Idinkai Temple. And please, if you like what we're sharing, please share it with others. Like and share. Abor Aboy, thank you all so very much. We'll see you next time.